Well, the finals race is officially heating up as we start to look ahead at round 18, getting to the back end of the season, and what a opening start to the round we have. It's first v second. It's the Fremantle Dockers hosting the Sydney Swans at Optus Stadium. Who will take home the victory in this game? We'll have to wait and see, but without further ado, let's get into previewing round 18. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Up the Guts podcast. Joining you as always is your host, Trent the Alternate. Some of you might know me as Tricky. And yes, this is the preview episode as we preview all of the action ahead of round 18. So if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of our videos. And make sure to leave a like and comment on this video as well. If you're listening to this via Spotify or Apple Podcasts, make sure you hit that follow button and turn the notification bell on so you're notified whenever we upload. But you know by now, guys, we run our own tipping competition at Up the Guts here. So let's load it up to see if the ladder still stands. Will was leading the way as of last round. Let's see if he holds on to his spots and if anyone has jumped up as we get into the back end. So we'll have a look in here now. Will stays on top of the ladder on 108 with 2 points clear of Fig Jam in second. He jumped up to second. Corey drops down to third. Big Hungry drops down to fourth. Della, last year's winner, jumps up to fifth, still 4 games behind Will defending his title. Zach in sixth drops down to sixth. Connor stays in seventh. Glenn comes up to eighth. Logan comes up to ninth. If we just scroll down here, Jai drops down to 10th. Hodgie drops down to 11th. Adam Brogdon jumps up to 12th. I dropped down to 13th. I've had a stinker this season. Normally very good at tipping. I normally pride myself on that. Dos Miller drops down to 14th. JD Hawks fan stays in 15th. Big Pistol stays in 16th. Wendy stays in 17th. Adam Scafferty stays in 18th. Chris in 19th. And Uncle Ron in 20th place. So it's still Will on top of the ladder. 2 points clear of Fig Jam and Corey with the who got the most right that round. So we had two people get two people get 7. So Adam Brogdon got 7th and he jumped up to 12th place on the back of that. And Della also got 7. So he jumped up to 5th place on the back of that. So that's how the up sipping competition is looking. Now let's go ahead to previewing all of the action ahead, starting off with the absolute clash of the first v second. It's going to be a banger of a game. It's Wolfie time. Optus Stadium. Let's get straight into previewing it. The Dockers host the Swans down at Optus Stadium, 8:10 p.m. on Thursday night. What a game we have witnessed here. They've edged the gap a bit closer to the Swans after the Dockers had their winning streak broken by the Giants over in Canberra. So they have dropped their first game in, a 14-game winning streak, and the Swans have won 4 of their last 5 after their win on the weekend. It's going to be an interesting round here. It's going to be the battle of the midfields and the forwards. We know what the forwards, the Dockers, can do. Tracy Voss and a miss. And then obviously Charlie Curnow down there, fresh off a bag of 6, and is now leading the Coleman medal race. Just going a bit under the radars a bit there is Charlie Curnow. Then you got Chad Warner, Heaney. Who else would be, Heaney, Goulden going up against Sarong, Brayshaw, and Bolton. Murphy Reed rolled through there. Hayden Young unfortunately went down with another injury, so they will be without him. But it's going to be an interesting battle also in the ruck. Brodie Grundy's in sublime form as a hit-out perspective too, fresh off 60 hit-outs last week. I wonder if they rested Jackson more forward last week purely for this fact because they know this clash was coming up. I believe Darcy attended more ruck contests just about last week than Jackson did. He spent a bit more time forward. Now coming in, it's going to be 2 informed ruckmans, at least the top 3 rucks in the competition, whichever way you want to have gone, Jackson, Grundy, going at each other in the ruck. And it's going to be an interesting game. Who am I tipping? And I think, I think I'll be tipping the Dockers purely because it's at Optus Stadium, but I think this could be a really good game. I'm going to go the Dockers. I'm just going to pencil in the 10 points. I think this could be a really good game because we have seen the Swans win and not win convincingly in a few games this season, but I think this is where they really, really start to amp it up as we get into the back end of the season. But the Dockers, I think, will be too strong at home. Have we got a double header on Friday night? Oh, thank God. No double header this Friday night. And this could be an interesting game, actually. Marvel's, why is it at Marvel? Why is Collingwood hosting a home game at Marvel? Anyways, home game at Marvel, Collingwood, 7:40 p.m. hosting North Melbourne. Collingwood are fresh off 3 wins in a row. So they're trying to make it 4 in a row as they try and pencil themselves in for a wildcard spot, currently sitting 9th on the ladder. Well, the Kangaroos, fresh off a loss to Port Adelaide Oval, found themselves dropping out of the wildcard spot and sitting in 11th place now. So it's not exactly what they want. So this is a must-win game for both sides, really. We mentioned that Kangaroos, although they were winning and cashing in games, they weren't doing it convincingly, and I think they got a bit of a reality check against Port Adelaide last weekend. But I could see this game going either way, but because that's the reason it's going to go either way, I'm going to back my Collingwood Magpies in. I do expect Finn O'Sullivan to be close checking Nick Dacos, but I think Nick Dacos has got to a stage where he can run off a tag now. He's definitely at full fitness now. You saw him sprint off the wing and burn about 2 or 3 players after taking 3 bounces. When I say Finos, he can still limit his impact, but I think Dacos has now got other strings in his bow that he can get around. But I do imagine Finn O'Sullivan will be going to Nick Dacos, but I'm just going to back my Pies in to make it 4 in a row. Then we head over to Saturday, 1:15 p.m. They spaced it out a bit better this round, so you got to respect that. 1:15 p.m. at Marvel Stadium. Saints will host Port Adelaide, so it's 12 v 15. Port Adelaide have won 2 in a row, while Saints are fresh off a win as well over the Bombers. Marvel Stadium impact. I really like Rowan Marshall playing as that standalone ruck. We know he's not a forward, TDK being injured at the moment, so allowing Rowan Marshall to play as that standalone ruck looked really neat. We know Marcus Windhager is going to be the man now to step into the Jack Sinclair role, with Jack Sinclair being ruled out for pretty much the rest of the... I think it's been confirmed for the rest of the season. He will be moved, and then the side just plays wherever he wants. But whenever there's a team with Zach Butters in there, you know they're going to give it a fight. But I think the Saints, purely with the Marvel Stadium factor, and they should be winning this game as well, will get the job done. This could would that voice. This could low-key be a bit of a cracker. 2 best mates going at each other. It's the team that ended the win streak. It's the Giants hosting the Cats at NG Stadium, 4:15 p.m. Yeah, the Cats aren't in great form. They've only won 1 in their last 5. That's gone a little bit under the radars, I think. 1 in their last 5, sitting 7th on the ladder. Not long ago were they 2nd or 3rd. Now they're finding themselves in 7th after 2 losses in a row now, and only winning 1 in their last 5. Well, the Giants have won 2 of their last 5, but they won that important game over the Dockers in Canberra that broke the streak. This is one I could see the Giants winning as well. Do I want to go with the upset? I think I'm going to do it. How many times have I said Giants have shat on my face when I backed them in? But I'm giving them another chance. I'm backing the Giants in purely because they're at NG Stadium to upset Cats, and if that does happen, there'll be some real big questions on the Cats, and they'll really need to pencil in as they get into the back end of the season. So I'm going to go with the upset with the Giants, and that's my big call of the round. But we know what they're like. They could shit on me, and I really hope they don't, but they have in the past. So do not have full faith, but for now we're going with the Giants. Doubleheader Saturday night, but it is a bit more space. Oh, well, no, it's not really, but we start off with the MCG, 7:35 p.m. Carlton, who have won 6 in a row, will host Hawthorn, who won 3 of their last 5, but are fresh off a loss on the weekend to Melbourne, which was a quite pathetic display in that first half. Did get those 12 goals in a row in the second half, but that first half was a very, very poor performance, especially being at their second home ground in Tasmania. Can Hawthorn be the team to stop the streak? I truly do think they can. will they be? It's going to be an interesting battle in the middle. Walsh had an off game last week, but Walsh, Hewitt, Jagger Smith, Paddy Cripps up against Newcomb, Day, who am I here? Josh Ward, who I really like. Cam McKenzie will run through there. I don't know if the Wizard is back. I believe I did see a tweet of him being back. Not sure. Gunston was back last week, but didn't have the same impact. I'm going to back the Hawks into defeat the streak that the that the Carlton Football Club are currently on with Josh Fraser. That's why I thought of Gold Coast with Josh Fraser. So I'm expecting Josh Fraser. This one, I'm tipping him to have his first loss interim coach, but what a run he's had so far. And another reason why I've gone with the Gold Coast is because they are in the next game. It is the Crows hosting the Suns on the at the Adelaide Oval, 8:10 p.m. So you'll watch the first quarter. You can get the first quarter of Carlton and the Hawks, and you can switch over and get the first quarter or a bit of the first quarter of Adelaide and Gold Coast. Then you can take your pick about which game you'd rather watch. I'm personally going to be more interested in the Carlton Hawthorn game, but others might be different, especially if you're an Adelaide fan who have won 4 of their last 5 and are flying 5th on the ladder. And Gold Coast lost 5 in a row and currently sit 14th. That is absolutely disgusting that we are talking about the Gold Coast started sitting 14th on the ladder after so much hype last year. Won their first final in the club's history, brought in Christian Petrarca, brought in Jamal Ugle-Hagan. But the bottom line is their midfield just doesn't want to run 2 ways. And when they were fired up after the brawl last week, they didn't show up and show the same hunger for the ball that Braden Maynard did in the second half. And I know I'm being biased as a Collins supporter, but Braden Maynard laid 6 tackles in the second half with bruised ribs and a pop shoulder. And I'm pretty sure I saw a stat that was 3 or 4 Gold Coast players didn't register a tackle. They registered 1 tackle. So that's just the seconds we're going at. And I did tip them because I thought that would be last week. That would be the response game. And it wasn't. So and I'm definitely not tipping them now at Crows at the Adelaide Oval. 3 games on Sunday. We kick it off at Marvel Stadium, 1:10 p.m. Western Bulldogs host the Eagles. Bulldogs have won 3 of the last 5, but they are fresh off a loss. The Eagles have lost 4 in a row, though. So I am going to be backing in the Bulldogs, but realistically, they should be winning this by 8 goals. But don't be surprised if it's a bit closer, because I was kind of impressed with West Coast's performance to somewhat keep it close against the Crows last week. 3:15 t.m. at the MCG. We got the Demons hosting the Tigers. It is 6v17. The Tigers lost 5 in a row. The Demons fresh off their big win in Tasmania. Didn't dull it down, though, by letting 12 goals in a row in by the Hawks. But nonetheless, a win's a win. And they did look really, really dangerous in that first half. So the Demons get this one done, and I reckon they get this one done 8 to 10 plus goals in this one. Then to round out the round, oh boy, a real snooze fest to end out the round. The Brisbane Lions, who are hot and humming at the right time of the year, who coming to try and make it 3 grand finals in a row, 3 premierships in a row, 4 grand finals in a row, on their way to a 3-peat and a dynasty. 4 in a row they won. They sit 4th on the ladder, and they come up against the Bombers. Let's just put Brisbane in there. That's just what's happening. So we've clicked submit. Now let's go back and have a look who I've gone. All right. So edit tips. Now we go in. Thursday night, I'm going in the blockbuster game, first v second. I'm going the Dockers over the Swans by 10 points. Friday night, I'm back in my Pies over the Kangaroos. Saturday, we kick it off. I'm going the Saints at Marvel over Port Adelaide. I'm going the upset and the big call of the round. I'm going the Giants over the Cats down there at NG Stadium. Then Saturday night, double header. First off, I'm going Hawthorn to break the winning streak of Carlton. And then I'm back in the Crows over the Suns at Adelaide Oval. Sunday, kick it off with the Bulldogs over the West Coast Eagles. Then Melbourne over Richmond, and the Lions over the Bombers. So that's my tips, predictions, and previews of all the action ahead of round 18. Thank you guys for watching and listening along. If you're watching this on YouTube, please make sure you leave a like or comment on this video. Hit that subscribe button, turn notification bell on so you're notified whenever we upload. If you're listening to this via Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please make sure you leave a like or comment on this episode. Hit that follow button, turn notification bell on so you're notified whenever we upload. Share this off to a mate, and please, guys, remember to leave a 5-star rating of the show, as it does help push the show out there to newer listeners. If you want to get all the clips from the show, local footy highlights that I'm posting from my commentary, or just me talk absolute dribble about footy and sport, make sure you're following our socials at @uptheguts_ on Instagram or TikTok, or you can also find us on Facebook. Just search Up the Guts in the search bar, and we're the top one in the search bar there. Thank you guys for listening and watching along, and until next time, I'll see you guys then.